You like Deltarune, don't you? Theorizing about it too? Mind-bowling. So do I. Maybe you've heard the one claiming that Sans intentionally prevented Toriel from getting into danger in the church's dark world. Pretty cool, right? And for this video, let's assume it's true. I mean, it is Sans, isn't it? Flowey sniffing, acronym dropping, face reading Sans? Always, every time, he knows more than he lets on. He doesn't know everything, but you don't think he's picking up on the huge conspiracy going on?
What huge conspiracy?
Oh my god, Roy, do not tell me you didn't complete the required watching list. It was a single 25-minute video. If you came to the bare minimum, then just flunk this class already. Jeez. Where was I? Oh yeah. I bet he even knows. Think in the mind of Toby Fox for a second. You've had 5 chances over 4 chapters to tell your positively ravenous fanbase literally anything about the parallel life of one of Undertale's most important characters. And in the one dedicated place you have for that, the only facts that you choose to dole out over the span of years is simply here, going, gone. And on top of that, you have the gall to let us arrange a playdate with him in Chapter 1, only to wrench it away at the very next opportunity like a monster. Why give us that hope at all? Just because supposedly our choices don't matter? No, this is not the place to simply troll. If Sans could let it happen, I think he would. But something forced his hand.
Maybe he got kidnapped, but no one's noticed yet.
Yeah, Andrew. Maybe he did. Behold, Knightknapping Theory. Victim 1, Undyne. Our most explicit victim and our most understandable. As you know, Roy, the knight was either busy doing groceries or she was the real target all along. And it's hard to imagine any kind of end goal that the Shadow Wizard Money Gang could have that wouldn't be made easier after practicing catch and release on a goody two-shoes who bench presses Toyota Corollas for breakfast. And it's not just hard power. The only one who could hope to match her authority is, well, the mayor. Unfortunately, this means the fact that she had to go really doesn't tell us much. Victim 2, Alvin. Ah yes, good old, not too important, not too unimportant, my hammer brother in Christ, Alvin. Keeping a corpse in his drawer, feeling guilty about it, and doing it all to see his old man again, only to vanish right after, well, if...
Darkness patterned after the memories of a loved one tend to only appear in very specific darknesses.
Then it probably helps if you actually know them at all. You know what that means. It means Alvin's a weak little bitch
Hyperlink blocked.
who can't even puncture a gas pipe hard enough to make a properly sized fountain. And also that he's one hell of a liability. Yeah, he definitely had to go. Victim 3. You know him, you love him, newsletter darling, toucher of grass, and certified funniest knight candidate, Papyrus. As discussed earlier, this goober's suspicious absence is seemingly the only thing we actually know about him, barring any cross-dimensional carryovers. Well, that and his lack of absence in Chapter 1. Wait a minute. If Alvin is the victim of Chapter 4, and Undyne is the victim of Chapter 3, then... I think I know what's happening past this traffic jam.
So Papyrus got kidnapped in Chapter 2?
Yes, Roy, I'm glad to see you were paying attention.
But doesn't the door in Chapter 2 say he's still there, just getting further away?
Oh, Roy. Your incompetence never ceases to amaze me. If you want to interpret it extremely literally, then let me burst your bubble. First of all, troussel is a totally made-up word, so the cheekiness levels of this line are already off the charts. You can practically hear Tricky Tony winking through the screen. But not literally, because no one knows what that sounds like! Second of all, I'll be getting into more evidence right after this, so you can either excuse yourself from this kidnapped Papyrus lesson, or you can try to argue that he's actively getting sucked into the depths from his own home, while we, Chris, and Sans are none the wiser. You should know that's absurd, Roy. And thirdly, while it wasn't required for today's class, you should remember the video we watched last year about how we should not be taking this narrator too seriously. Let's move on to what's much more solid ground to stand on, what the actual characters say. For instance, this bombshell that basically no one's been talking about. To get it, you need to talk about Papyrus in Chapter 2 without having done so in Chapter 1, which by the way, you have to do if you approach Sans at all in Chapter 1. Now, take it away, Jack! Oh, other Jack.
See, brother, what are you talking about? I don't have a brother. Just messing with you, I totally do. Though, to be honest, I never mentioned him to you, did I? Not gonna lie, a little weird you asked. I'd never let my brother hang out with a stranger. Especially not alone. Or in my house. That's way too irresponsible. Try to have some self-awareness, okay? Meanwhile, I'll ask what his schedule is.
Okay, there's a lot happening here. And it's not just poking at the meta stuff either. Like 1, us already knowing about the existence of a brother, 2, the fact that we did already date him in Undertale, and 3, the fact that he would have agreed to it if you had asked him earlier. Plus, the final line suggests that he does still want the playdate to happen, I'm sure for the same reason he states then. But the big question is dying to be asked. Where the hell did this newfound sense of responsibility come from? Now I'm just spitballing here, but perhaps it was the sudden disappearance of said brother, causing him to do some digging and eventually save Toriel from a would-be disastrous choir practice?
Wait, but...
Oh god, what is it this time, Roy?
Well, Toriel cancers quiet because of the rain. It's not like Sans can control the weather.
What did I said earlier? Let's assume... Look, there's more than one person in choir, right?
Yeah.
Her canceling it by herself implies that she actually leads it and has that authority, right?
Right.
So she went into the store because of the rain, but only after talking with Sans did she officially cancel for everyone. End of discussion.
But-
That's what I thought. Moving on. We still need to get to the craziest part of that bombshell. Why in the 9 hells did he lie in the beginning? I'll tell you now, it wasn't for a joke. It's understandable that most people think it is, including Jack there doing his best New Yorker impression. But the thing is, we know this has to be his first time talking to us. He always sets up the playdate after you talk to him in Chapter 1. So, this total stranger comes up to you and offhandedly reveals that they know about your brother while asking to see him right on the exact day that he goes missing, probably from your negligence. He is horrified. He doesn't even need to know that Chris is actually heavily involved, but the fact that he might, even if it's just a suspicion, that just makes things even crazier. So after his genuine bafflement, there's a whole text box of just ellipses, which can only mean heavy deliberation. In that moment, he must be thinking that if this new town is so dangerous, then perhaps it's best to keep his brother a secret. But the moment later, he realizes that opportunity left with his brother. But I'm not done yet, folks. Any theorizer worth their salt knows that predictions are the real juicy stuff, and if Alvin ended up disposed of after he wore out his usefulness, then it'll be no surprise when someone else on the outer edge of this conspiracy does as well. That's right, it's time for the part that'll make this video either outdated or vindicated just next year. Here's a big question for y'all. Will Sans be in the Chapter 5 Dark World? Everyone is all just like, Ralsei and Flowey this, Neo Woody Theory that, but they usually gloss over Gerson's line. It won't just be about Asgore, but about his jealousy. And obviously that jealousy is of Sans, right? But there's no way we're at the point where he'll be in a full starring role. Even in Undertale, he barely had a spotlight, and that's only after getting to know Papyrus. He's not gonna get off his ass and into the Dark Worlds until way endgame, especially considering the G-Man in the room. But that begs the question, right? What will be the Dark World stand-in for Sans? And when you think about it, there really hasn't been any objects heavily associated with Sans, at least not in Deltarune. You'd think that's something worth foreshadowing, right? You know where I'm going with this. We're about to get the opposite twist of Chapter 4. Instead of what Susie assumes to be a Lightner turning out to be a Darkner, what she assumes to be a Darkner will actually be the grand reveal of one Papyrus cool dude Deltarune. And you know, this is the real reason why annoying Anthony has given us so little. It's because he doesn't know either. Or rather, he's been keeping it open for himself until somewhere around this very moment. so that he can be precision engineered to get on Asgore's nerves, and to generally make Chapter 4 the best that it can be. And that's really what's important here, right? An incredible video game experience that I'm sure he'll deliver on.
Aw, you're right. And what a nice point to end a video with. Or, is it a lesson? Are we still doing the classroom bit?
Hey Roy,
Yeah? What is it?
now there's this old theory from Chapter 1 that he's going to be a lot younger than he is in Undertale, and I like it quite a bit. It really fits with the idea that Deltarune is a prequel, but just for the Skelebros. And what's one way to make Papyrus more reminiscent of Sans? Making them the same height, of course. And if you still need more Papyrus in Chapter 5 evidence, here's something more for all you fellow Neo-Woody theory enjoyers. There's this even older Undertale theory that this phone call here, which points you to the True Lab, is totally fake. We know that Flowey is railroading you into the true pacifist ending, and that he can mimic voices. The biggest tip-off though is the very first word, which Papyrus never says elsewhere, but both Asgore and Flowey do. It's a remarkably cowboyish thing to say, and that is howdy. Oh great, Roy's back already. What incredible contribution do you have this time,
If Papyrus got kidnapped and totally locked up by the conspiracy gang, then how can he show up in the Chapter 5 Dark World?
Well, thing is,
It's not a big deal, really. It just means that you have two separate theories that don't quite work with each other. That's all.
wait, shut up, you're wrong again. Who's to say that all the kidnapped people will be in the same place, right? So picture it. Chapter 5 opens with the festival, and we're having a good time until Asgore does a huge
Hyperlink
up. He
locked.
f***s it all up big time, or at least for Carol. And she's all like, Asgore, the deal we had is off. It's time for you to leave. So he goes home, and Susie is all like, well, that was kind of weird, and I hate Carol, so let's go talk to him. But it turns out Carol did one last thing to make sure he wouldn't be a problem again. Trapping the Flower Man in Asylum! Woo! Hot damn, I'm good. Papyrus is there cause, well, maybe he just wandered in and has been having fun in there. Oh, that would mean that the Dark World's been open for a while, which would make sense. Carol and Asgore have been buddy-buddy, which is also why he gets trapped in his own house instead of with Undyne and Alvin in the bunker.
It's, called the shelter.
Roy, you walking sack of shit!
Hyperlink
They know what I'm fucking talking about! For the love of God, would you please shut your fake ass up already? You are not here to be correct! Got it? Strawman is literally your middle name! You exist for me to beat you up! And that's all there is to it! Okay? Okay. Hey, you made it to the end of the video. This has been a good few months in the making, so I really appreciate that you sat through it all. If you want to see more theories from me, I have plenty where that came from. I actually think that the Knight and Ralston. But the best way to tell me that you want more is by joining my Patreon. That's right, I totally jumped the gun and made an account before I even knew I'd be successful. I've seen enough YouTubers flabbergasted at the success of their first Deltarune video to know that it might happen to me. So check out the cool patron rewards and consider signing up. It would mean the world to me. And that's about it. Sayonara, gamers.